Oh my god, the host just triple sapped.
Do you see who's food running tonight?
56 was just sitting there making out the entire time I was trying to take
Why do we have
order.
so many servers on the floor? Did you hear about 73?
This is a work of fiction. Any similarity to actual persons, living or dead, or actual events is purely coincidental.
I got you. I'm here for you.
Thank you.
I'll be your light in the darkness.
Like a very well-lit parking lot.
You shut up. I did this for you.
Oh. Well, welcome back to Rolling Silverware. I'm Kat.
And I'm funny.
This is our post-shift shit talk.
This is our very drunk post-shift.
Faded.
We're 2 martinis down, and we're loving it.
I'm like 1.5. I'm such a lightweight again. I don't understand this.
I feel great. Great is the feeling I have.
Yeah, I feel good. I need about an hour before I can drive home. So
Yeah, so thank you guys for joining us on our sobering up time. Because that's what this is now.
Well, let's talk about this week. How was this week for you?
So I called out on Wednesday due to a
Yes.
massive migraine that lasted me about 24 hours.
Yes, you did. How was Hammer?
I've only been on 2 days this week, but man, we've been busy.
Yeah, lucky
We
you.
are popping off.
Because the day you called out, we were not.
Really?
And yeah, Tuesday, I want to say, so I've worked every single day since last Saturday. We're now on Friday. So I've worked Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? And that's just how my schedule works out because of how my availability. We do Wednesday to Wednesday. So I can either be available for the front half of the week or the last half of the week. And so it ends up being I have 5 days off and then I work 9 fucking days. And Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, super dead. Nobody was walking in. There was maybe 2 reservations the entire night. It was a fucking ghost town.
Crazy.
But then Wednesday, you called out, so we were down 1. And then middle of the shift, Girly Pop starts getting sick. And she starts with like a headache, right? She takes some tablets and she's like, okay, I think I'm going to feel okay once these tablets kick in. And then she's not. All of a sudden, she feels like she's going to pass out on the floor. Like, she had to go in the office and sit down for a bit. And I just told her, I was like, look, don't worry about it. Head home. Like, don't worry about side work. Don't worry about nothing. Just give me your card. I'll close out your tables. We'll get you your tips. You head home. And she goes, thank you so much. She texts me when she gets home, and she's like, hey, thank you so much. Like, I really appreciate you looking out for me. And I was like, yeah, don't worry about it. And that just left me and the aunties left doing all 5 side works. So just me, Auntie S, and Auntie M trying to get through it. I was maybe 2 minutes away from break violating that night, which we closed at 9. I break violated at 10. There was no reason for me to take a break that day, but I almost break violated.
Damn.
Yeah, but we got it done. We finished it out. It was fine. But yeah, it wasn't like super busy. And then yesterday picked up. When I clocked in at 5:30, it was a shit show.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, there was just everybody.
Wild yesterday. And then today we really popped off. Like,
yeah.
I took my break because I was the closer. So I took my break at 5:30 to 6 because I realized that all of our reservations were coming in at 6. That's what it looked like up front. Mm-hmm. But it was like the moment I clocked out on break, so many people were standing up at the front. And I was like, why is this happening? Like, should I not have taken my break? But we had everybody else on the floor for Friday night. So I figured, let everybody else get a couple rounds and then I'll be right back. But I mean, I still made out okay. I did great yesterday. I made out okay today. Something that I've encountered a lot lately, like I know you've talked about just less percentage overall.
Yeah.
For tip outs like recently. And, we are getting into that like weird slow season before Easter and, Mother's Day and Father's Day.
Yeah.
So luckily we have Valentine's Day next week, so that'll kick off. We're looking at a very busy weekend.
Valentine's Day I always feel like sucks though, because it's people that don't really go out all that often.
Right.
They just want to bring their missus out for Valentine's Day. They don't tip very well. You're just getting 2-top after 2-top after 2-top. You're not getting families going out on Valentine's Day.
Nobody couples up to go out on Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
but
so it's very,
if nothing else, it is a busier day.
It is busy, yes.
And being on a Friday this year, it's going to mean for a busier Saturday and Sunday.
Yes, that's
for all the people trying to avoid the crowds. Mm-hmm. Because like when Valentine's Day falls on a Tuesday, like it doesn't really change the pace of our...
Not enough.
Just that day is busier, and then the rest of the week doesn't really feel like anything,
Right.
So we are looking to a busier weekend. But what I've gotten a lot of lately that really fucking drives me crazy is we've got all the people bringing in their gift cards, right? Because we had the holiday gift card thing where, like, if you buy $100 worth of gift cards, we give you a $20 bonus card. And that's fantastic. What a great deal. Like, honestly, everybody should take that. Awesome. But right now is when we have all those people coming in.
Yeah.
So
the month of January and February is rough with those gift cards.
Right.
Because they don't tip.
Well, and
they were gifted those.
Here's what happens is people come in and they have $120 worth of gift cards, essentially, right? Because everybody bought the 100 and then they have that $20 bonus or whatever. So their bill's $220, and then they use their gift cards and everything, and I hand them a check for $100. They pay for it with their debit card, and they tip $20.
Yeah.
Like, they're forgetting about the fact that they had an extra $120 on that bill. Like, I still have to tip out on that extra $120. Sorry, guys. Fucking cut it out. I, like, so many times over the past 2 weeks, as soon as somebody hands me their card and their gift card, like, bonus card, I'm just like, great. So you're not going to tip on your full amount. I don't know if you think that it just disappears. Like, that money doesn't just, it magically goes away and it's no longer on my checkout. Like,
it's no longer sales, yeah.
I still have to tip out on those sales, guys. So, like, twice tonight, I had tables whose bills were in the 200s, and then I hand them a check for $100 or $120, and they tip me $20 or $25.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's not how this works. And I almost want to, like, hand them back the original receipt.
I always do.
And, like, no, but I mean, we hand it back to them, like, because it's rolled up or whatever. But I almost want to, like, circle the initial amount and really be like, hey, here's your debit card purchase for $100, but on your $230 tab, right?
Yeah.
Because, yeah, it really fucking sucks when you're hoping for close to 40 at least, and you're getting $20.
But that's the thing, is people that typically eat out with gift cards, right? Especially if they're coming in thinking like, oh, $120, that should be enough. And then all of a sudden it's not, because they're not really like trying to price everything out as they're going through it and ordering. So they're like, oh, this is a higher bill than I expected it to be. And so they pay with the $120 and then they tip what they can, which is like, I get it, but also like that sucks for us. It does.
Yeah. So I've dealt with that a lot. I'd had, like I said, 2 tonight where their bill was $230 or $240, and I hand them a check. It's $115, $120, and they give me fucking $20. And I'm like, that's 10%. Like, maybe you're thinking, because you're looking at $100 on your receipt, you're thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna give her 20%, but you're not, because your initial bill was all of those gift cards also. Yeah. And I just kind of want to be like, no, not that. Like, here's your full check. Yeah. Here you go. Look at this before you sign for anything. Because also, like, I'm sorry, if I walk in anywhere and I'm getting over $100 off, I'm going to make up
I'm tipping so much more. Yeah. Because
I just saved myself $100. Like, and especially the people who are gifted those gift cards. Yeah. Like, hello, you didn't even pay for the gift card.
No, this entire, I want to say, week or two has been, mostly this past week, my sales percentages have been so garbage. Usually I walk with about 20% of my sales. I walk with. So that's after tip out. So I average out getting tipped more than 20%. Yeah. Over most nights. And I walk with about 20% of my sales. So it's great, right?
Yeah,
it's fine. Great. Yeah, it's perfectly normal for me. And, for a lot of people, I would say.
For just Kat.
It's just me. I'm perfect.
She's so great.
Better than you. No, but, I would say a lot of our hammers. Like, that's very typical for us, right? But this past week, I've been working with like 13% of my sales. Ugh. And it's been rough. And I was looking at my money the other day, and I was just like, fuck, like, I have not spent $200, $300 on like Wendy's. And, you know what I mean? Like, bullshit. Where's all this money going? And I realized, like, oh, I'm not walking with my full, like, what I normally do. And I was thinking for a minute, maybe it's my look. Like, maybe it's the way I look.
Right.
Maybe
a little bit more alternative. Bit more.
I got the black hair. It's short. It's choppy. I got baby bangs. I have piercings in my nose. Like, maybe.
Well, and you do style your makeup to be a little bit more alternative. Right. Which I love.
Right. And I want to say that, most people, that's what they know me as. Right. And I'm still very personable with my guests. And I'm very, I'm jokey and I'm fun and I'm very uplifting with my guests. So a lot of people just like, oh my God, here's money. Like, here's the poor person, peasant, take all my money, which I love. Like, that's, that's why I do. Here. Yeah, exactly. But this past week has been so bad. So today I was getting ready and I was like, maybe it's the vibe.
Right.
Maybe I'm giving off a terrible vibe in the current economy, in the current day and age, where we work and the people that we serve. Maybe it's the way that I look.
Sure.
They don't want to tip me. So I came in today, I wore a blonde long wig and I styled it very pretty.
She
and
was
an
very
updo.
cutesy, very demure.
I didn't wear I didn't even put freckles on today, bitch. Like it was
Very classic conservative.
very Republican makeup, right? Like when you think of those like TikToks that make fun of how Republicans do their makeup, I was like almost that.
Right.
Like it was better, but
No, I mean,
I was a makeup artist for a little while, so I
you look
literally
hot as hell,
couldn't
but
put
also
that on
it was
my
very
face.
toned down. It was a very
So-
toned down look.
Sweet Pea told me tonight, she was like, yeah, when you came in, I literally thought that like the manual that we have that tells us like how we're supposed to dress, like it looks like they just like printed that out and you were that, which is
You were like a 3D copy of
such
that.
a disrespect to me. Like
Gross. How could you say this to me?
who I am as a person.
I don't want to
like,
be anything that is standard.
I
Gross.
want to be nothing standard. I do not want anyone to ever look at me and think like, oh yeah, she's conservatively pretty. Like,
Right.
"Bleh."
Please stop.
When she said that, I almost threw up in my mouth. I was so upset, but I was like, but that was the look I was going for. Right. That was the look I was going for.
That was the shot.
And I still walked with the same amount. I was still getting, very strictly like 20%, just under 20%. Like every single table was like that. And I even got, a couple tables like giving me 15s and 10s and stuff. So I was like, okay, well, it's not the look then.
Right. It's not you. It's just the current time of the month and also just the season. It's not this is our off season for working in a restaurant.
I was really worried that it was the black box dye and the baby bangs, and I was just giving
and the
off
little
too much
space
of
buns and everything else.
Yeah, and
right?
I was giving off too much of a like alternative vibe or leftist vibe that
I'm gonna
all
be
of our
totally
people-
honest with you. It might just be your service. 'Cause
How dare you, bitch? You were saying you got the same tips today.
Today, yeah. No, because like I alternate, right? It's either I'm doing something like I'll do all the buns or the little spiky hairs, or I've got like I even have those little jewel accents that I've been clipping into my hair lately, and I've got I've got some very alternative jewelry that I wear at times. Like I have a day collar that I wear. Like
that's true.
There's definitely some times where I wear all of this stuff and I'd go a little heavy on the mascara or some eyeliner or whatever. And I feel like across the board, I just still end up kind of the same. Like always.
And usually I do. Like I said, I have had black dye hair for a long time. Like this isn't a new thing. Like I
think
had
it's
that
just
dark
the
red for a
season.
while.
I don't think
but
it has anything to do with your look or appearance or
I
obviously
was-
you're an amazing server. So
I was really worried that it was my look for a while, but after today, being like, oh, thank God.
Right.
Thank
cool.
God
I can
it's-
go back to what I was doing and still make the same money.
Yeah, at the end of the night, my edges started feeling like really itchy. I was like, I gotta take my hair down so that I can unglue the edges to my face because this is fucking itching. And so I was just taking care of the last like one or two tables that I had with my hair down, like
full length hair.
Oh yeah, it's like 22 inches. That shit is long. But it was very blonde and very cute, and everyone, I definitely had some compliments on it, from my guests. They're like, "Oh my God, the way you did your hair was so cute." And I was like, "Thank you." But yeah, I was really worried about that for a minute. I'm glad that it wasn't that.
Yeah, just shitty tippers. That's really all that it is.
Yeah, exactly.
So just speaking of walking up to a table and just like out the gate, just starting out, fucking so rude.
Yeah, yeah. I had a guy yesterday, and I've already spoken to you about this because I could not keep this in, but this guy sits down and he's looking at a menu. I walk up, do my whole spiel. Hey, I'm Kat. I'll be taking care of you. What can I get you all to drink? She tells me water. He looks at me and goes, yeah, I'm not going to be rushed. I'll take a water. Bitch, who the fuck is rushing you?
Also, water's an answer, sweetheart. Like, I don't know if you think you didn't give me an answer right now, but you just did.
That was the most wild thing that anyone had ever said to me, and I was just like, okay.
Also, it'd be totally different if you walked up and you're like, what do you want? Or if I'm looking, I'm like, are you ready yet? Like, that's not how we approach tables ever.
Yeah.
So, reel it fucking in, bro.
I literally said, is there anything I can get you to drink? And she gives me her answer. And then he does take a beat. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't like right away. He said that. He takes a beat and I'm standing there and he goes, yeah, I'm not going to be rushed. Oh, you could have just said water. Like,
yeah,
what
or
the
nothing
fuck?
in the moment. I just need a minute. Like, there's so many other ways to handle that instead of just being a fucking douche.
And so the entire time he was at my table, I gave them exceptional service.
Always.
Not A drink was below half. Not food came out perfectly. It came out on time. They got extra bread. Like they got every little thing that they needed or wanted or could have even thought to ask for. And I did none of it with a smile. I just dropped that shit off and said, "Yeah, you're welcome," and walked away. Like it, you're not going to complain that you got shit service.
Absolutely not.
You got great
Everything
service.
was timed great. My server seemed upset.
Well, that's what happens, right? So it was very much, none of it was with a smile. And then at the very end, he goes, I do my whole spiel. Any desserts I can tempt us with tonight: key lime pie, creme brulee. And I just, name the 2 top ones.
Sure.
And I go, maybe a cappuccino tonight. And he goes, "Oh, what else you got? Like on the dessert menu, right?" So I
Which was like 9. So yeah, let me go ahead and write all this off.
List off all 9 of them. Oh, okay, yeah, I got this, and this. And he goes, "Oh, we're not getting any. I just wanted to see if you knew them." I
Fuck off.
walked over to our manager and I said, "When they put me in the car, let them know that the murder was just." Like I was so fucking mad. And
Fuck that guy. I don't know if I would have been able to keep a straight face at the table. Like, if somebody, like, it's like when people ask what sides we have, right? And I have to list off all fucking 12 of our sides.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, oh, if somebody were to look at me and be like, oh, I actually already know what I want. I just want to know if you knew. I'd be like, great, goodbye. Like, I'm walking away. Like, you're purposely wasting my time. You can suck my dick. No.
I was
Get
just
the fuck
kind
outta
of,
here.
I was just kind of blinking at him, and then his wife started bringing up the new host, Surfer Boy, and she was like, "Oh my God, that new guy you have, he's so charismatic." So she tried bringing me back because she could see that I was getting close to following them home and murdering him in his sleep next to his wife. Like
She would have let you because she hates him too.
Very possible.
I can't even imagine how he treats her at home.
I was so upset that he said that. I was like, "Who the fuck do you think you are?" Like that reminded me of that situation that you had the other day where the woman just wanted to waste your time and she was like so excited of wasting your time.
She lived for it.
Right. And I was just like, "You're that fucking asshole."
Yeah.
Like you're the asshole that
comes out
just wants
so
to be
he
a
can
dick.
do that. Yeah.
You see me as a servant, not a server.
Yep.
And guess what? I'm a human being, and this job, it means a lot to me. I like this job, but I could lose it in a heartbeat.
Want to find out?
And I'll be fine. Like I need you to understand that there are 5 restaurants in the center that we work in, and 2 of them would hire me.
Right.
In a heartbeat.
In a heartbeat.
One of them told me I don't have enough experience, which I was very
wild.
I was like,
"Ooh, you're only at 19 years. We really strive for 25. So everyone here is 40 years old or over. No, they're 19. Great. Great. I actually served my mother breast milk when I was born.
I came out with a tray, just like, "What can I get you to drink today?"
Yes.
I actually recommend the Kumamotos. No, but but honestly, it is one of those things where it's like I really, for the most part, enjoy where we work.
Absolutely.
I like the people I work with, most of them. I want to say there's only like 3 or 4 of them that really get under my skin.
We've got a solid crew now, and I enjoy coming to work. I enjoy, for the most part, our guests are.
Yeah.
Across the board, we've got some good people. Like, sure, some of them I don't agree with. I would never hang out with outside of work.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I've got a solid string of regulars. I've got people that come up and give me hugs. I have people that text me to ask me if I'm working because they want to sit in my section. Like, I've grown to absolutely, fit in here and to enjoy it.
Yeah, same. I don't have regulars that text me, but
she insisted. She's like, "We really only want to come in if you're here." And I'm like, okay. But yeah, when stuff like that happens, I just kind of I just want to blank stare at the table. Like, what?
Yeah, I did. I blank stared at him for a good 5 to 10 seconds before his wife was like, "Oh my God, by the way," trying literally to pull my attention because I just
changed the subject,
stared at him and blinked a couple times like, "Oh, fucking excuse me."
See, so this is why I'm always check ready. So that way if somebody pulls that shit on me, that check's getting slammed in front of your face. Like, "Oh, we don't want one. We just wanted to know." Ha 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 ha, here.
Slam. Oh my God, you're so funny. Here.
Just like, get the fuck out. Get out of here. It's so rude.
Yeah, I need to be check ready a little bit more often. That is one thing that I'm slacking in and I need to be more on top of. I've been, I want to say the last month or two, I've been a little bit better about it, but not with every table. And I need to get to that point.
Up until very recently, because I fixed it by just asking a question that I didn't know was so simple to fix. Up until very recently, we didn't have enough check presenters all the time.
Yeah.
So I would, knowing that I have 3 tables on entree, I would print 3 checks and clip them all to the same little clipboard.
Okay.
So that way, whoever is ready first, here you go. You know, like I've got it ready to go, because sometimes people don't do dessert, or sometimes they eat their meal in seconds flat, you know, and they're ready to go or whatever. But also it was because I was really just holding that check presenter for myself. So that way I knew I had it.
At least one, yeah.
Right, when I needed it, instead of, oh no, I have 3 tables that are ready to close out and there's no fucking check presenters anywhere.
Fucking anywhere. Oh, it's so annoying to have to run around.
That was like such a simple thing. I just walked into the office and I looked at our GM and I go, yeah, can we get more of these? And I just like held up the clipboard and she goes, yeah. I go, yeah, we're low. She goes, we are low. I go, okay, cool.
So she noticed and didn't put any out on the floor?
I guess. Well, we don't keep them in, like, we don't keep them stocked. It's not like they had them in the office and just brought them out.
Yeah.
So she comes out to me and she goes, they'll be here tomorrow night. And I went, what? She's like, yeah, the check presenters, I ordered more. They'll be here tomorrow night. And I go, oh, thank you. Like, thank you so much. And for the past couple of days, I haven't felt like I really need to go and find one.
No, I've been fully stocked.
Right. Unless we get like that one table that has like fucking 12 check presenters at it, you know, then we might be like, oh, hey, do you have one? Do you have one? Or whatever. Yeah. Fucking, I've lost so many pens this last week.
Yeah, you mentioned that the other day when I came in with my husband and my kid.
Yeah, so last week I lost 5 pens.
That's crazy.
I keep 6 on me in my apron. I have 6, right? Sometimes 7 if I have an extra one like tucked somewhere, but 6 pens. So in 1 week's worth of work for me, which is like fucking Wednesday to Sunday, right?
Right.
I lost 5 pens.
That's wild.
So I literally went home Sunday with my 1 purple pen that I don't even give to people to sign with because it's purple.
Right, you can't.
It's what I write with. And I just remember getting home and being like, fuck, I have 1 pen. Like, what's wrong with everybody? Stop it.
Stop taking my shit.
Listen, just because you tip me $20 on your $100 tab does not mean that that entitles you to my fucking pen. I don't know if you know this, but I still need that for the rest of the night. Yes, I now, once I get off work, maybe tomorrow, because everywhere's fucking closed when I get off work, maybe tomorrow I can go buy a new pack of pens. But the night that you steal them,
I'm down a pen, yeah.
They don't provide me with pens. I pay for these. And yeah, I buy kind of nice pens because I like them. And I know that other people like them. And it's like, but I purposely don't buy anything that looks super nice.
Yeah.
It's just people notice, oh, this writes really nice. Fuck you. I know it writes nice. Give it back.
Give it back.
I had a table, 3 checks. They took all 3. That's 3 of them.
Wild.
Split check, 3 ways, all 3 of them. And I went over with, like, I cleaned that table. The buster didn't clean it. I cleaned it. And I busted all the way down to the wood. There was no pen there. There's no pen on the ground. There's no pen in a chair. Like, these motherfuckers stacked up my 3 pens and put them in their pockets. And left. And I'm like,
so rude.
I hate you. Like,
I hate you. Never
the $35 that you tipped me is great, sure, but I can't buy more pens until tomorrow.
$20 of that is going to go towards a new pack of pens. Like, let's be real. That shit's not cheap. That's like going into a teacher's classroom and stealing a bunch of shit and then walking out like, oh yeah, I need these crayons and these pens and this construction paper and then leaving. Like,
I have so many things to do with this. Also, teachers are the worst at stealing pens.
They really are, because they need them too, and they're like,
sure, it's a part of your job too. If a table ever tells me they're a teacher, I'll go back and pick up my pen. I won't even pick up the check. I'll just go back and pick up the pen. Because I shit you not, 9.9 times out of 10, that motherfucker teacher is taking my pen.
Yeah, they do.
I called a woman out one time. I was in the lounge. 5 teachers. Oof. I split the check 5 ways. I gave them 3 pens because I didn't have 5 to give them because I still have to, like...
Yeah, we're only technically standard is 5 pens, so...
Right, I still have to give other tables my pens to sign with,
and you have to take orders and shit, like...
So I left them 3 pens, and they're like, I'm cleaning up their stuff, and I'm grabbing the checks and the pens, and I only see 2. And I look at this woman who paid, and I'm looking at her, and I go, yeah, can I get that pen back? And she goes, what? And I go,
stop it.
That pen back? And she goes, oh my God. And motherfucking reaches into her goddamn purse and hands me my pen back. And I just like, I so casually, I'm just like, ha ha ha, thank you so much. And I walked away and I was like, I hope you feel every ounce of shame for that. Stop taking my pens.
Yeah.
Fucking, I need this shit. I come over prepared and you guys are fucking with me.
Yeah.
Speaking of fucking with me. So, last week, we discussed stupid fuckhead whatever host. I think is what we called her last week.
Yeah, you called her fuckhead.
I called her fuckhead.
Or fuckface.
It was
made
fuck
me
something
giggle.
host. Yeah. And then we stuck with it for like the rest of the episode
We
too.
did.
So she screwed with me on Saturday and then again on Sunday. So we spoke about it Saturday.
Yeah, saying that it was, thank God the GM was there. The GM saw it.
Right.
And it was, yeah.
So then Sunday, the opposite occurred, where I was the hammer, the closer.
Mm-hmm.
She skipped me in rotation 4 times.
You mentioned that when I came in, yeah.
Now, you can't look at me and say that 4 different tables requested somewhere other than my section. Like, you can't say that. Like, because people
No.
request the bar. Absolutely, I get that. But so sit that person in the bar.
That's really the only place that gets requested. Like,
Right, but nobody's
maybe-
requesting the 60s or the 80s over the 70s. This is all main dining.
Yeah.
Nobody's
it's all
walking
booths.
through and
It's
being
all-
like, ew, the middle booths? Oh my God. Like, far away from the bathroom? I don't want that. Like, shut the fuck up.
No.
You're
It's not even
fucking...
that far from the bathrooms.
So I made a comment to Surfer Boy, and I was like, she's doing it on purpose. And so 2 tables later, he walks up to me and he says, this absolutely feels intentional. And I said, because it is. I am getting skipped in rotation multiple times. So I bring
Yeah.
it to the attention of our server manager. And I was like, hey, I just want to let you know that this kind of shit happens all the time. Something happened yesterday, which our general manager witnessed and made a comment on her own. Mm-hmm. It's happening again, but now to the other side, which it's either she overseats me or she gives me fucking nothing at all. So he walks up to the front and he pulls up the seating chart and he's, tracking it down. And you could tell that she was looking around and she was like, they're talking about me. Like, they have to be talking about me. And it's like, yeah, because you're fucking with my goddamn money now. Like, you're doing
yeah, it's a
it.
problem.
And you're doing it on purpose. And, like, I'll be totally honest. Like, I know I've mentioned it on this podcast so many times. Like, we have this hate-hate relationship, right? I don't know where the hate started. I just know that she started hating me, and it's just gone from there.
I can tell you exactly where it started. When you first started at this restaurant, she had been working for us for what, 4 years? Right?
4
At
or
that
5,
point?
yeah.
4 or 5 years. And you came in and you became a supervisor really quick.
Yeah, about 2.5 months in.
Right. So you became a supervisor and you tried telling her how to do her job, and she was upset about that because you hadn't been working there as long as she had, and she knew nothing about your background, she knew nothing about your experience. She didn't care that you were a supervisor. She was just like, "No, I've been working here longer and I know how things are done."
Yeah,
And
she would do
so-
everything in her power to do the opposite of what I said.
Exactly.
And that consistently stayed even after I stopped being a supervisor and just went to being a server. The night goes on, and like I said, she can tell that something's going on. And so one of our coworkers, who's one of the other lead servers, is a friend of hers, like a personal friend of hers.
Yeah.
And all 3 of the other servers that were on had come up to me at one point and been like, man, we really popped off tonight. To which my response to every single one of them is, must be nice. Because you got the tables that some of those should have been mine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, must be nice that it popped off for you because I was slow all night. So when the other lead server made that comment to me, I go, well, it's because you got sat and I didn't. She goes, what? They're not seating you? And I go, oh, it's not they. She's not seating me.
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about? I was like, she does this all the time. She's got some fucking vendetta against me. She's not seating me. I don't know why that would be. I don't either, and I'm fucking sick of it. So I guess she went and told the host, hey, if you've got something against Bunny, like, you should cut it the fuck out because this isn't cool.
Right.
And so, sure enough, about half an hour later, host comes up to me and she's like, yeah, can we talk really quick? And I go, yeah, sure. So I set my dishes down at the dish pit. She's waiting for me out on the back dock. And I walk out and she's like, hey, I really don't want you to, I hope you don't feel like I don't like you or anything. Like, I definitely, you're a really strong server and I like working with you. This is how she's talking. Like, I'm not exaggerating this. She's like, so.
It's exact. She is saccharine sweet, and it's
Just, it's honey sweet. Like, she's dripping with sweetness. And I'm just like, so I looked at her and I go, I'm going to be honest, host. It does feel personal. Lately, it 100% does feel personal that you are not giving me tables.
Because before she would give you a couple days in between her personal bullshit, like
Sure.
her little vendetta. Like,
Yeah,
she would be
sometimes
very
it would just be,
normal,
hey,
and
I'm
then-
just doing my job.
Yeah.
And then on the days that it was just her and there was nobody else, because keep in mind, when there's other hosts on, there's more people to pay attention to it. And she wouldn't usually pull the shit when there's other people on.
Yeah.
And so Sunday there was another host on, and he caught on to it too. But so anyways, we're outside, and she's like, no, I mean, it's just you had those 3 tables, and then you were taking that order, and I just thought you might need time, and I didn't want to overwhelm you. And I go, okay. And she's like, well, I'm told that we can only give 4 tables to everybody. I go, okay. Like,
okay.
Before I even walked out that door to talk to her, I promised myself that I would not go off.
Yeah, don't engage.
Not engaging. I'm not going off. I have so much fucking shit to say to her face if the time comes. Mm-hmm. But in this moment right now, my best bet is to just let her say whatever she wants to say.
Right.
And then walk away. So I just went, okay, yeah, I'm sure it must be difficult. Okay. And then we walked back inside. So she went to do her checkout at the end of the night. And server manager says, hey, so I want to talk to you about tonight. And she offers up. She goes, oh, I just want to let you know that I talked to Bunny. And he goes, about what? What are you talking about? Why would you talk to her?
Yeah, why?
Right. And she's like, well, I just wanted to like clear the air and, like make sure that there wasn't any issues there. And he goes, okay, well, let's look at this objectively. I have my lead server who's in charge of starting the day and ending the day at this restaurant.
The shift, yeah.
Currently standing with less tables than anyone else. And 3 of these servers came in after she did. Can you explain that to me? How is that even
possible?
Yeah, can you explain that to me? Because he had the the reservations right up in front of him. And he goes, on head count alone, she's under everybody else. You can see how objectively that looks like you're fucking around. And she's like, well, I just want to make sure that she's good. That's not your job. It's not your job to make sure that she's good. It's your job to sit in fucking rotation.
Right.
So they had a little discussion, to which when I did my checkout, I told him everything that happened as far as her conversation and how this has been an ongoing thing for fucking forever. Mm-hmm. And then, he said, well, I'm going to wait to talk to the general manager because if I have reason to write her up, then I'm going to fucking write her up. Yep. And I was like, great, that sounds awesome. So then you called me.
It was on like Tuesday.
The next shift or the following shift after that, I get a phone call at like 4:30. And you were like, hey, I just want to let you know that she got written up.
It was Wednesday because you'd called out and I was like, how are you feeling? And you're like, oh, I'm feeling okay. And I was like, do you want me to put a smile on your face?
That's what it was. So it was Wednesday. I think that was her next shift.
Yeah.
And so you let me know that she had been written up, which, great. Because honestly, how dare you? How dare you pull this shit in front of our general manager and in front of another manager that can clearly see it for himself. And now that we have a management team that can fucking pay attention and also cares.
Your mom doesn't work here anymore, which was a big reason why she got away with a lot of the shit that she did for years, was because her mom was a kitchen manager. So now your mom doesn't work here. You don't have the pull that you think you fucking do. Just because you've been here for 7 years, 8 years, working the same spot doesn't mean you have the pull that you think you do.
So you let me know that she had been written up, which is great. I hope that this can at least be let this be the end of it. Mm-hmm. Let this be that things have come to light and you're aware that you're going to fucking get in trouble for this shit because it's not fair. I'm sick of it. And honestly, you should be over it by now.
Yeah.
I am nothing but nice to her at work. I don't talk shit to her. I don't yell at her. I never go up to that host stand and yell at any of them, ever. I don't do that.
I do.
And a lot of servers do.
Joking. I don't really yell at them, but sometimes I'm like, why are you doing this to me?
No, but a lot of servers do. Anybody that's been in the industry, me, myself included, having been a host before, servers will come up and fucking bring you a new one. I never absolutely.
Yeah, I always try to never ring them a new one. It's more just hey, I'm just kind of trying to see where you're coming from. Why is it that this person has 3 tables and I only have 1? Where, you know what I mean? Where did the disconnect happen? Sure. And then they'll tell me oh, they requested this section or they couldn't sit in a booth because they're too big or because they're handicapped or because this or whatever. So they're sitting at this table, blah, blah, blah. And then I go, okay, cool. That's all I wanted to know. Right. I'll never come up just angry and screaming.
I have bared witness to plenty of servers in my serving history.
Yeah.
Go up to the hosts and just absolutely fucking cuss them out.
Yeah.
Or just
which is wild.
But I mean, it's the hierarchy of it, right? I'm not saying it's okay to do that, and I make a point to never do that. Mm-hmm. If I come up and I say, "What's going on?" That's the tone of voice I have. It's just, "Hey, what's going on?" But I always know when she's working, I can't do that because she's going to give me either no answer or some total fucking bullshit answer. Oh, they requested the bar. All 6 of them? All 6 of those tables requested the bar?
Yeah, right.
I find that hard to believe. Great. Well, I came in today and I heard that during her write-up, what was told to her was, we do have grounds to fire you. This is more than obvious to several managers that you are bullying one of our servers. We have grounds to fire you. But out of grace, we are going to write you up, and we don't want to see it again, basically.
Yeah.
Is what I heard happened. And so, awesome. Thank you.
Make it serious, obviously, because this is a serious situation.
Yeah.
Like, if there is a claim of bullying or harassment, if it's not dealt with by the management team, then you as the server could easily go to corporate and HR with that.
I just met our HR lady last week.
And she loved you, bitch.
She fucking loved me.
Exactly.
I got stories for days,
Exactly. So it's definitely one of those things where, we have HR eating in our restaurant.
Right.
And,
I am so glad that they took it seriously. I'm also just so glad that it was so glaringly apparent.
Yeah.
This wasn't a she said kind of deal. This was a look at the facts.
Yes.
And I didn't even have to say much. All I had to say was this happens all the time. That's all I really said. I did not go in there cussing her out. I was not, throwing her under the bus in 100 different ways. All I had to say was, Saturday shit and Sunday shit happens all the time. That's it. That's all I had to say.
And because you had two separate managers witnessing the bullshit.
Right.
You know what I mean, of what it was, especially the GM seeing it that Saturday night where you got triple sat, a 7, and then a 5, all within minutes of each other.
Yeah.
And all of them still had menus. You hadn't even gotten drinks for 2 of them. Like, it was absolutely ridiculous for you to be sat all of those. And you just looked to the GM and was like, am I the only section that has open tables? What's happening?
Yeah.
And the GM was like, no. Right? So, like, the GM had already seen that being, happening. And then the system, the fact that the hosts have to put in, like, every time they seat a table, how many people's in the table, what time it sat down, if it was a walk-in or reservation, whatever. So they can see at the end of the night the total head count that every server has, the total table count that every server has. So all of this stuff is being documented. We just haven't had a management team that gave enough of a shit or paid enough of attention to actually look into it.
Right.
And to just pick up the tablet and look at it for 2 seconds, right?
So,
and say, like, oh, this is glaringly obvious.
It was incredibly validating to have all of that happen in just a short time.
Yeah.
Because I had decided, as we spoke about last week, I decided last Saturday, I'm fucking done.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not going to play the game. You're fucking with my money. You're fucking with my livelihood. I'm not okay with it.
Yeah.
I'm done. Because like I said, enough time has passed that whatever fucking reason you might not like me for, we're working together. We're still working together.
And we're both adults. Let's be honest. This hostess is like 33, right? It's not like she's some 19-year-old girl that is, hell
just
bent
being
on
petty
being
for fucking being petty
sake. She wants to be a mean girl because she misses high school. Like, this isn't what it is. Like, this, I mean, maybe she misses high school.
Maybe she does. Get the fuck over it.
She might have peaked then, but at the end of the day, she's in her 30s, like early to mid 30s.
Grow the fuck up.
There's absolutely no reason for her to be acting like this in a workplace. Even at my big age of almost 40.
Reeling in.
But even at my age, like, there's certain people that I cannot fucking stand at work. The minute I hear their voice, the minute I see their face, it's just grating, irritating. I'm just like, oh God, I want to vomit. But I look at them, I smile, and I say, hey, how's your day going? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you have, and it's not about being fake as much as it's just about being
in a work environment.
Yeah.
This is a work environment. We have to be professional.
Yeah.
I walk in, I say hi to her every time. I'll ask her how her week was, fucking whatever. Like, I don't give 2 shits, but I'm going to do that. And I'm not fake about it. I'm just like, hey, how's it going? Because we're both here. Here we are. Let's do our jobs and get the fuck on with it.
Right.
So it was incredibly validating to have that all come to fruition so quickly. And also, I really hope that she can fucking move past it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to get her fired. Like, I'm not sitting there like, yeah, a little bit of me does. But also, like, okay, hold on, let's be real. I'd love it if she was fired. But
would
also,
this be the second host that you or I have gotten fired?
Hold on, I've never gotten a host fired.
I'm pretty sure.
Let me clarify. I was going to say I've never gotten anybody fired. I absolutely got terrible bartender fired. I was absolutely the nail in her coffin, like 100%.
Also, let's talk about that kid that came to host that one time. And you and I both got written up.
This guy has been here for 20 minutes. He is
still in training.
He's still in training. He walks in the back door. You and I are smoking outside, to which I say, hey, how's it going? I introduce him to you because you hadn't met him yet. And I go, hey, this is Kat. You know, I'm Buddy in case you forgot. And then I was like, hey, just so you know, if any of the servers give you a hard time, like, just kind of let it roll off your back, you know, like, try not to let it weigh down on you too much, because at that time, at least when he was starting out, we did have some really toxic servers on.
Yes, we did.
And so we had a lot of people that would go up to the host and kind of freak out. So and also I think I've said this to every host across the board, like, hey guys, I've been in your shoes before. Please don't let it ruin your day if a fucking server says some rude shit to you. And then you and I joked, like, it won't be us. It might be us. Ha, ha, ha. Like, that was the whole fucking thing. That was it. And then at the end of my shift, I'm being asked to write a statement. Hey, Bunny, could you write a statement as to what happened today? And I'm like, I don't know what happened today.
Yeah.
And they were like, apparently outside, you upset the brand new host. I was like, what are you talking about? I spoke 10 words to this fucking kid.
Yeah, and then...
he came in so hot, though. Like, he came in like he fucking owned the joint. He was like...
He really thought he was doing something, taking the bus to the fucking restaurant at 18 years old, and like he was going to run the spot. And then he got the two of us fucking counseled, essentially, right? Because we had to write a statement.
I had to write a statement about in my own words, what happened. I was so confused. And I've never been more, like, I had so little to say. I was like, I said hi? And, like, if anyone gives you a hard time, don't let them. Like, I didn't even know the best way to phrase that, because it's not like I looked at him and said, hey, if anybody bullies you, fucking suck it up. Right. You know, like, it's not like...
No.
I was just trying to give some words of encouragement, and he was like, no, fuck that shit. She bullied me outside.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa.
There was, like, an investigation that happened. Yeah, it was fucking wild.
I had to sign my name on a piece of paper with, like... the events that occurred today.
And then we told every server, like, yeah, fuck that dude.
Seriously?
Because this is what he did to us. And obviously at that point in time, you and I had been there for, you know, a couple of years, respectively. And all the surfers were definitely on our side. They were like, what a fucking freak. Like, I'm never going to talk to that guy. And so he quit, like, within the week, because nobody would talk to him and nobody would, like, interact with him at all.
It wasn't just that, too. Like, he came in, and I guess he had a bunch of attitude with one of our old managers.
Yeah, that's true.
And so he had all this attitude because he wanted to put his backpack down or something, and they were just like, oh, once you get clocked in, X, Y, and Z, right? And he kind of lost his shit that he was even being told anything before he clocks in, which, like, okay, I guess I get that, but, like, they're just giving you the heads up, like, hey, this is where you'll be today, kind of deal.
And like, then, so tonight you'll be seating, and he's like, oh my God, how dare you?
How dare you speak to me? I'm not on the clock yet. So from my understanding, he literally, like, set his bag down and then spoke 2 words to one of the hosts, turned around, grabbed his bag, and fucking walked into the office to quit.
Yeah, he was not going to have a good time at our spot.
Well, he didn't seem like he could work anywhere. Like, you need to be behind a desk speaking to nobody. Like, I don't know. I don't know how the world works for you, bro.
Try Fiverr, buddy, because I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Yeah, he was wild. And I don't know if you or I necessarily had a hand in him quitting, but we definitely didn't make it easy on him after telling every single server that we came, every server, bartender, host, like everybody that we came in contact with in the next few days. It was like, yeah, fuck that dude. We're being investigated because we said this in the back. And they were like,
so
what?
Far out of context. I was just like,
so weird.
But he took that as, no, absolutely not. You're fucking threatening me. And you're telling me. Oh, man. I felt like I was being accused of, like, some terrible fucking shit. I was like, whoa. Yeah. I just said you looked nice. Like, hold on.
And a terrible bartender, you absolutely did that. That was all you, baby. You take credit for that. And then
she kept fucking shit up. And then, you want to free pour shit in front of everybody? Well, I'm going to go talk about that. Like, also, she didn't even know the recipes for anything. Like, get the fuck out of
she
here.
Was garbage. She needed to leave.
So much attitude all the time, and she threw my ticket away. That wasn't even a vendetta. That was just like a, hey, if you, like I said, okay, and I know I said this on the podcast as well, but like, you can either be an asshole or you can be shit at your job, but you don't get to be both.
Yeah.
And terrible bartender was absolutely both. Every day she clocked in, she was both.
No,
So
I'm an asshole, but I'm pretty decent at my job. And I'm not even that much of an asshole to most people. Not anymore. It's really annoying. When I was
I'm
a
like a
bartender,
fun-loving asshole, and I'm great at my job.
when I
But-
when I was a bartender, nobody spoke to me, and it was you were one of the only people that spoke to me, and it was joyous. Nobody really like knew me or talked to me or did anything. They were
Now
just like, "Oh my
everybody
God,
says,
yeah,
"Hey,
fuck Cat, yeah." And now,
Well,
when,
you also had that air about you when you were back there. You were just like, I'm here to
Yeah.
do my job, leave me the fuck alone. And you could get away with that back there.
and I liked it. And now that I'm on the floor, servers will walk in, and I'm like, "Hi, how are you?" And then I'll do like something nice for them, and I'm like, "Don't tell anybody. I have a rep to protect." And they're like, "No, you don't. Shut
Not
up." And I'm like,
anymore.
"Ah, fuck."
Not anymore. You're soft as shit.
I lost it. I lost my hard shell. Now everybody knows I'm a softie and I'm sweet. This is bullshit.
Fuck, I hate it.
I hate it. Now I need to go to another restaurant.
Gotta start all over. Get my image back.
I'm 38.
But also, like, don't fucking pull that kind of shit. You know?
Yeah,
like,
no. I'm
I
glad.
don't start my workday ever, like in any job I've ever had. I've never started my workday being like, yo, I'm gonna fuck that person over.
That one in particular.
Like, if I can be a little bit petty to somebody sometimes, like, okay, yeah, if I hate them, but like never just like so consistently, just
Yeah.
like fuck that person in particular today.
I don't know. I'm starting to feel that way about giggles.
Oh God. Oh fuck. Let's talk about giggles. Hold on.
Yeah.
All right. So Giggles McGee over here is food running tonight, and three times, because twice before I mentioned it to you. So he's food running. So his job is so clear. Like,
I want to be.
I want to be so
perfectly
clear
honest.
with you. His job today, when he clocked in, it says food runner. That
Which-
means you run the food. I can't spell this
know.
out for you
I don't know if
any
you know this, but
better. But it means that when the food is ready to be run, you run it. You run it.
shocking
Or
revelations are happening.
if other people are around and you're busy doing something else, then other people run it, like obviously. But on a busy Friday night, we have a food runner for exactly that reason, to run the fucking
'cause
food.
everyone's busy. Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, our expo tonight kept fucking disappearing. So, like, okay, now you, as the food runner, you have to take over and expo the food, which means you get it ready, like, you get the plates ready to take out to the guests.
Mm-hmm.
So what he did twice was he trayed up all of my food, meaning he took it out of the window and he set it on the tray, ready to go for my tables, and then called me specifically, not anybody, not, hey, I need hands, hey, I need help running this, me specifically, hey, your food's ready.
Yeah.
Great.
What do I pay you for?
I'm holding 8 drinks on a tray and a loaf of bread. And I go, okay, let's start running it out. Well, and he goes back to the line and starts like expoing other food. And I'm like,
That's not ready. Like the ticket's not green. It's just like
there were
one or
no
two.
there were no
Yeah.
other green tickets. No other green tickets.
Nope.
And he's just letting my food sit there and die. So, okay, fine. Other people help me run it. Or I just put down my tray of drinks the second time and just started running my food out. And then I meet you outside and I tell you, hey, I'm fucking sick of Giggles shit because he keeps fucking not doing his goddamn job. Like, I'm tipping you out a decent percentage of my sales
Kind of
today
a high percentage of food sales, yeah.
to run my food. That's your job. Yes, you also take to-goes. Yes, you do. But when you clocked in today, you didn't hit to-go. That was not your job title. It was not to take to-goes. It was to run the food. That's where the majority of your money tonight is coming from, is me paying you to run my fucking food. Now, yes, we work at a restaurant where everybody should run food. I'm not saying that I don't run my own food. I do it all the time. I run everybody's food. I run everybody's drinks. I'm good at my fucking job.
Right.
And so then we come back in from me telling you that he's pulling this fucking shit to what? To my food sitting on a tray. It was one entree and one side. It was for 2 people and they were sharing it. It was one entree and one side.
Mm-hmm.
And this motherfucker set it there and left it there and then turned
Didn't even
around.
call for a runner, nothing.
Didn't call for runners or anything. There was no, hey, can anybody run this? He just turns around and starts prepping his to-go.
Yep.
His to-go is not ready to go.
The person's not here, yeah.
They're not here. The food's not done cooking. He is just prepping his sauces and bread.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's doing instead. And I turned and looked at you, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, why? Why is this happening right now?
And
I don't understand.
loudly yell into the kitchen, yeah, you're right. Let's just let that die on a tray instead of running it. Good job. And I walked out with you like, you fucking idiot.
Well, and so I pick it up to run it out to my table because I want them to have the nice hot food that they fucking deserve, that they're paying $40 for.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, fucking come. Like, dude, what the fuck? Like, I'm not sure if his is targeted or not, or if he just would rather not run food.
No, I think that for him, it's not necessarily targeted. I think it's much more, he just is at a point with his job that he's just like, no. You know what I mean? Like, because and I've spoken to a manager about this recently, like within the last couple of days. The pettiness that he has, even when he's like
when
bussing.
he's a busser.
Yeah.
So he's either a busser or a food runner. That's his.
Those are his
jobs.
his two job titles that he can clock in as, or that he does clock in as usually, anyways. And for him, it's very much just like, he's like, no, that's not my job. That's not my job title, or I'm not going to do that, or I have other things to do. Like, he very much, one of our things is to bust down to the wood, right? As a server, you need to bust down to the wood. Okay, fine. If someone's drinking an alcoholic drink and there's still half of it left, even after they've paid, I'm not going to pull that out of their mouth and be like, thank you so much, you guys have a great night, right? Like, you're going to...
So sorry, I've got to take this now. Like, you've paid, you're leaving. No, in fact, we've talked about, as servers, we've had meetings where it's like, hey, we need to let that guest feel very comfortable to sit and stay. Mm-hmm. We need to be refilling waters. We need to make sure that table is nice and clean for them.
Service after check is something that we
focus
provide.
on.
Yes.
And so to have him be so upset that there's 2 bar glasses left on the fucking table when he goes to bus it, it's like, okay, but there's nothing else. There's nothing else here, and you're going to be really fucking petty about these.
Or a dessert plate, yeah.
I've had it where he has cleaned the table and reset it with 4 new plates and left the 2 dirty bar glasses at the edge.
That's ridiculous.
Fucker, that table's not clean. That's not clean.
No. And I feel like management has said something to him about that, because now what he'll do is he'll just tray up all the bar drinks that are kind of like in the area, and he'll just put that at a terminal.
Right, on the side station.
Right, and expect a server or somebody to come by and take that to the bar, which, it's one of those things where, what else are you doing? So if there's, 2 bar glasses on a table and literally maybe 2 water glasses, you're really telling me that takes so much time out of the extra 15 steps it takes you to go to the bar and drop those bar glasses off? I'm not even asking you to wash them. I'm not even asking you to rinse them out, to pour them out, nothing. You literally just set them up at the bar.
Right. You don't have to do anything with them.
Yeah, and then continue on to the dish where you empty then out the rest of the water glasses or whatever. And if they're there, right?
Right.
And then go back, wipe some shit down and put some plates on it. Like, that's your entire job.
Yeah, your whole job is clearing that table of what's left and resetting it. That's your entire job. Like, I'm not saying that bussers have the easiest job in the world.
No, of course
not. And I've never looked at a busser and been like, oh, my job's way fucking harder than yours. I will never say that to somebody. But also, you don't have 6 fucking tables right now. You have 2 that might get up soon.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of your job is also waiting around for tables to get up.
Yeah.
So if when that table gets up and there's 2 fucking bar glasses at it, suck it. Pick them up.
I was saying, I spoke to a manager about this recently. I had 2 tables that each had bar glasses on them and water glasses. They didn't have dessert plates. They didn't have bread. They had nothing else on them but water glasses and alcohol and bar glasses, because they were still drinking them when they, had they paid. Once they got up, both of them got up around the same time. He jumped almost immediately to these tables, trayed up an entire tray of bar glasses, because it was like a 4 and a 5, right? Like, it wasn't, a small, these weren't small tables.
Right.
Trayed up all of the bar glasses and set them at a terminal. I walked immediately into the manager's office, and I was like, if he's not even going to wipe down the booths, which 100% is a part of their job.
He specifically never wipes the booths, and it's like that the next person that comes down doesn't want to sit on the crumbs of the last person.
Right.
And I can't get there in time before the fucking host sits me again.
Yeah.
And also, that is not a part of my job.
Not during
you wiping the table, and when you brush all the crumbs off onto the booth, your job is also to brush them down onto the floor.
Right, so that's your job. Sweep them up later. Right. Yeah, exactly. But no, he doesn't even wipe down the booths, the crumbs that are on the booths. I've seen him sometimes just like slap the towel on it once and then walk away.
Sure.
Like, that's his idea of wiping down the booths. So he can't even do his entirety, like the entirety of his job, but he's going to be petty as fuck and not take the extra 15 steps to take some bar glasses to the bar. Like, I went off on the manager. I said, I'm not okay with this passive-aggressive, petty bullshit.
Yeah.
And the manager at the time said, this is the exact same thing that's going on with, fuckface host, because it's the passive aggressiveness of it. And he's not going to put up with it anymore. So I don't know what happened at the end of the night. He was like, call him in here. So I just casually walked up to Giggles and I was like, yeah, I think the manager was looking for you. He might be in the office now, but I'm not sure.
I have no idea. I've never known anything less than I know right now.
Just walked out of the office complaining, steaming mad. And, hey, Giggles, manager's looking for you?
You might need to speak to a manager. I don't know why.
I don't know what this is about.
No clue.
This is crazy. But yeah, so he does the same shit when he's food running. I think it's just literally whether this isn't technically a part of my job title, I shouldn't have to do this. Or if it's, well, I have this to go, I have to focus on. Like, it's one of those things where he prioritizes things selfishly.
Very.
Right?
Yeah.
So the to-goes he makes, maybe $5 to $10 off of, which is going to be more than the one plate that he has that you're tipping off of that one table.
But it's not more than what I tip him for the whole night.
No, for sure. But
so it's like for the whole night, I'm giving you so much more than $5 or $10.
No, but I think
like so much more of the money is going to you than you seem to be aware of. And also, like, I swear to fucking God, if you tray up 2 plates and then you find me, like, you're not even calling for anyone to run the food.
No, he's
you
finding
find
you.
me because my name's on that ticket and you go, yeah, 73's ready. Motherfucker, I will stand right here with you. I will stand right here with you and be like, run it. Yeah. Run it. You run the food. The job that you have today, run the food. Whether I have open hands or not. Like, abso-fucking-lutely not. Cut it out.
When that happened, when we came back in and you were like, oh, look at this. And I was like, oh, yeah, let's let it die. I immediately walked to a manager and I was like, hey, can we find the expo?
Right.
And he goes, well, where's the expo? And I was like, I don't know. But he's not on the line. He goes, well, where do you want him to be? I don't know, fucker, on the line.
On the fucking expo line. like his job title.
Right. I want him to be on the line.
I don't know if you know this, but I do every part of my job when I'm clocked in. I do every part. I don't...
And then some, let's be honest. Like...
Right. I go through other people's sections and I clean up. I help seat tables. I help run food. I help run drinks. And I run drinks for everybody. Like, we've talked about this so many times, but I run... You and I and a handful of other people, I'm not walking up to that bar for my drink. I'm walking up to that bar for the drinks that are ready to run.
Yes.
This is all included in my job because we all work at the same fucking restaurant. It's not that hard.
And I mean, a part of our standards is that every guest is our guest, right? Like,
well, and it's the circle of responsibility, and like if everybody covers for everybody, then it's a lot less work overall, you know? And I feel like for the most part, we cover that. But there's a couple of people that stick out that...
Yeah.
But yeah, fuck. God, tonight when he did that. And it was too perfect of a timing because I had just told you. I'm so fucking sick of this shit. What the fuck is that? And then it's like, oh, this thing that I just told you about? This is what I was talking about. See him doing nothing?
Yeah.
He's doing nothing.
Yeah. The fact that manager, who do you want? Where do you want him to be? I don't fucking know.
I want the expo at the expo line.
And then later, when we walked out,
no, this is too great.
We walked out on the back dock, and he's there, and we're talking shit. And
the expo's eating his lunch.
Yeah, he's literally on break, and we're like, "Oh, shocking! You're not on the expo line where you're supposed to be." Like, talking so much shit, and then eventually goes anyways, and he picks up his phone and starts talking again. And we're like, "Oh, he was on the phone."
Of course he is.
Whoops, sorry.
Well, and he tried to say, like, if I'm not in the bathroom, then I'm doing my job. And it's like, no, you're not.
No, you're not.
You take phone calls every fucking minute. You're either in the back shooting the shit with everybody. Half the time I see him on the line shooting shit with people.
Oh, he's
not even expoing anymore. He's now in the kitchen, like, where the fucking food is being cooked, shooting the shit with the guys. And it's like, you can do that from out here. I don't know if you know this, but they can hear you. I don't care. If you guys are talking about the raunchiest fucking shit ever, I don't care. I don't care. You do that from over here, where you can tray up my fucking food.
Yeah.
Like,
and have the food runner that I pay to run the food.
Preferably, if he can. Obviously, if he's running somebody else's food and I walk by and food is ready, I'm running it.
Yeah, of course.
It now becomes my job. Like, I get that. But when you're not doing fuck all, you're just standing there. Just because you put it on the tray doesn't mean it's no longer your job. You are still the food runner. Yeah. Run the food.
Run the fucking food.
Run the fucking food. Fucking, so, speaking of people talking about raunchy ass shit.
Oh.
So we have a dish guy. More often than not, he's trying to hit on me. Like, I think he hits on everybody across the board, like any woman that works there. Mm-hmm. But he's always like, oh, are you good? Are you good? Or he comes in, he takes plates out of my hands, and it's just like half the time I'm like, yeah, man, I'm fine. Like, just let me do it, you know? Or if I go to carry a rack of glasses from the back, he tries to run up and like take the glasses from my hand. It's like, no, believe it or not, my whole weight can carry this. Like, my whole ass woman weight, I've got this. Like, I can more than take care of this. But he's hit on me so many times. Like, he's always like, there was the joke that I had with him that one time that you came in.
When he like first started, yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's my novia, right? Mm-hmm. And so then he was like all obsessed with the fact that we were girlfriends. And I was like, okay, calm down, dude. Like, I have a boyfriend. And I told him that in Spanish. And so I speak a little bit of Spanish, right? And I get by. But for the most part, he also speaks pretty great English.
Yeah, like, he understands. He doesn't talk much, but he does understand English a lot.
And also, there's not really, I don't feel like there's a language barrier between him and I.
No, not really.
But for the past 2 weeks, ever since Surfer Boy was in the back, and he speaks apparently super fluent Spanish.
Yeah.
And so he's shooting the shit with this dish guy. Dish guy looks at me and he goes, his Spanish is great. You don't speak Spanish. And he says this to me all in Spanish. And I go, yeah, I do. A little bit. And I responded to him in Spanish. I said, I speak a little bit. Poquito. So we have this conversation, right? Every single day since then, he has told me, you need to learn Spanish. Get better at your Spanish. Your Spanish needs to be better. You need to learn Spanish. Also, no the fuck I don't. Like, I know enough to get by, and nothing that we do in, like, my interactions with him do I need to say in Spanish for him to understand. Because he does, in fact, speak English. Mm. And, like, maybe it's just me, but never once in my entire goddamn life, being a white woman, have I ever looked at anybody ever and said, you need to learn English. I have never fucking said that to somebody, and I wouldn't, because that's fucking rude. But why are you saying it to me? And why are you saying it every goddamn day we work together?
Yeah, I could see how that would be really frustrating.
Because he said it again today. He was telling me, he was in the beverage station, and he's telling me that Coca-Cola is bad. And he's speaking in Spanish. And I understand. I go, what's wrong with it? Like, I'm thinking, do I have to change the syrup? Like, did you just have a glass of Coke and it's not working properly? I can fix that for you. And then he starts pointing at his back. And he's saying, it's not good. It's not good. And he's pointing at his back. And I was like, what? And so then adorable Sweet Pea walks in. And so he starts telling her she doesn't speak Spanish, pointing to me. And she goes, the Coke, it's bad? Like, is the syrup out? She's doing the same fucking thing I did. Mm-hmm. And so then he starts pointing to his back again, and she goes, you mean it's just not good for you? And he goes, yeah, the Coke's not good for you. But he's saying all of this in Spanish.
Right.
And I understand what he's saying. He's just fucking being a fucking prick about it, I guess. And then he looks at me again and goes, you need to learn more Spanish. Again, all in Spanish. He's telling me this. Your Espanol's no good. No bueno. You need to be better. And I'm just like, what the fuck? I understood everything you just told to me, and also shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. I don't need to learn Spanish just because you want me to have a whole ass conversation with you in Spanish. No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't know if you know this, but I've been in the restaurant industry for fucking 15 years, and I'm doing fine. I'm doing just fine. I can get by with the guys who speak no English. Mm-hmm. If I can talk to somebody who works our raw bar and speaks literally zero English, I don't need you to say fucking shit to me. But when he did that in front of her and then he walks away, she goes, what the fuck was that about? And I was like, I don't know.
Validating, yeah.
I don't know. He does this to me every goddamn day. I'm done with it. I'm done with fucking everybody at this goddamn place, actually. You know what? I changed my mind. I don't like working here anymore. I take it all back. Because as I'm saying it, this is now the third person we've talked about today. But no, it's like, it's rude. It's just rude. Like, you're being rude to me. And also, I've more than made it clear to him that I understand what he's saying. Yeah. And I don't need to prove myself to you by speaking better Spanish or more Spanish so that you like me more. Like, I don't want you to like me. Yeah. I'd rather you didn't like me.
Actually.
It would be easier for me if you didn't talk to me at all.
I've always been under the kind of, let's not say always, but I've recently been under the, not assumption,
opinion.
But opinion, yes. I've been under the opinion that, like, yes, I should know more Spanish than I do.
Same.
I understand a decent amount in like restaurant Spanish, right?
Yes,
So like
yes, very, very restaurant Spanish, not necessarily conversational Spanish.
I do not understand conversational Spanish, but restaurant Spanish, I can pretty much get by.
Right.
Same. I can't speak it very well, but I can understand a lot of it.
Well, and I can tell you pretty much every single one of our sides and desserts and other things, I know the Spanish words for.
Oh, good for you. I don't.
So, and I can count to 100 in Spanish. Like, what do you want from me? Like, I can tell you the table number and the food that I need, and I can also tell you what I need help with and what's wrong with it. Like, in broken Spanish, sure, but I can do it.
You can get by. Yeah, I'm less than that, right? But I can still understand. So I feel like a lot of the guys that work on our kitchen, they understand English, but they don't speak it very well.
Sure.
And I understand Spanish, but I don't speak it very well.
Right.
Right. So we can kind
it's
of
a very
get by.
mutual. Yeah.
Yeah. So we can kind of get by. I'm speaking English, they're speaking Spanish, and we're figuring it out together
Sure.
at this point. But I have been under the opinion like I should know Spanish. I live in an area, we live in Southern California, where more people speak Spanish,
Sure.
right, as a second language or as a first language than anything else, right? Yeah. And it's one of those things where they understand English, so they understand two languages. I understand one for the most part, right?
Yeah,
Fluently,
I'm like 1 1/4 at best.
Yeah.
Like,
so,
absolutely.
These people are obviously, much smarter than me, and I work in an industry that has a lot of Spanish speaking people, so it would benefit me a lot to learn conversational Spanish and to, be able to speak with them and be able to have conversations with them. Even if it is just restaurant Spanish, I should know more than I do.
I'm not saying that I shouldn't know more.
I would never in my life think to look at one of the guys in the back and be like, you should really learn more English. Like, that feels
That's what I'm saying.
So gross.
That's what I'm saying.
But
it's like, that's such a, it's just such a white person thing, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
so
I
like,
don't know
especially
if it feels gross.
old white people specifically are like, oh, fuck you, learn English, right? I would never say that. In my whole fucking life, I would never look at somebody, even if they speak broken French that I don't understand at all, I would never look at somebody and be like, learn English. Like, I don't think that way, and I don't feel that way.
But does it feel gross?
But please don't fucking look at me and tell me you need to learn more Spanish.
Yeah,
why? Why?
But does it feel gross because we're white women and we know the stigma behind white women in America saying you should learn English?
I think it just feels gross because it's rude. It's just rude all across.
It does feel rude.
I don't think this is just a white person to somebody that doesn't speak English rude.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is rude across the board, and he should feel like he's being rude to me to flip it around on me. Like, why would it be so fucking rude for me to say it? Because I know that it would, and I would never say it.
Yeah.
But you can come to me every single fucking day that we work.
Every day is a bit much. I'm going to be honest with you. That feels a little bit more targeted. And that...
Because he wants to talk to me all the time. And I swear to fucking God, pay attention the next time that we're working.
Mm-hmm.
And that he is there also. He is trying to meet my gaze every moment that we are in the back together. Anytime he comes out from the dish pit, he is trying to meet my gaze. When I walk past him, he is trying to lock eyes with me constantly. And I don't look at him. I just don't look at him.
Yeah,
I've dealt with enough fucking guys in the back that I don't engage, right? Just don't engage. Also, I just feel like this is just a woman thing, right? Like, just don't engage. Don't be a part of it. Don't antagonize him. Don't do this. Don't do that. But also, what are you doing, dude? Leave me alone. The fact that you're going to start talking about Coke and I literally understand everything that you're saying and I repeat it back to you. And I tell you, like, even Sweet Pea, with as much Spanish as she knows, still was confused. What are you even talking about? Coke's bad for you. Yeah. Like, it's bad for your health? Fuck off.
Then stop drinking it.
Also, I was currently, at that moment in time, drinking a glass of water. With lemons in it. Like, it was very obviously a glass of water with lemons in it. When he came in and decided to have this whole fucking spiel about how Coke's bad for you. And that I don't speak enough English to understand. Even though I very clearly understood everything he was saying.
Spanish. You don't speak enough Spanish to understand.
Did I say English?
Yeah.
It's wild.
I don't want to correct you.
No,
but
please,
I also...
that's perfect. I'm getting confused because now I've said both words so many times.
For the podcast, I felt like it was important.
Fair. But it's like, don't come in here and be like, you don't speak enough Spanish to understand when I absolutely do. I understood everything that you said. You're just being fucking weird. And then to pull somebody else into it, to pull her into it and be like, she doesn't speak enough Spanish. She also doesn't. I don't know if you know this, but she's not fluent in Spanish.
Pasty white, too. Let's be honest with ourselves.
We're twins. Like, her and I get mistaken for the same person often. Like,
which is wild, because she's like a foot taller than both of us.
She's at least a head taller than me.
She's so tall, and yes, she's curvy the same way you are.
I was going to say, we're just two big booty white women, and that's all people see sometimes.
I was going to say, very different colored hair.
Different colored hair, different height, different face structure, I guess. Yeah. But no, doesn't matter at all.
Well, you ready to check out Beach?
Yeah, let's get out of here. I got to go download Babbel now.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Rolling Silverware Podcast. If you are enjoying the post-shift shit talk, please feel free to rate it. Tune back in next week for our shift shenanigans.